Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy XIV mobile video. So, I'm going to be saying this at the start of all of them, so apologies for those watching these ad nauseum. The beta for Final Fantasy XIV mobile has officially begun over in China, which means tons of screenshot and footage have started surfacing online on top of a gameplay trailer, which I checked out in a separate video. So, I'm going to treat it like it's the good old 101 days. You want to go down a history lesson, go back a decade and watch me talk about all of the stuff in 14 back before we had ever really gotten to play it. So we're going to be taking any opportunity we can to look at any information we can possibly glean from the Chinese version. Obviously, I don't read Chinese, so I'm going to have certain notes and just be as observant as possible. Maybe look over at chat, because I'm sure chat has some inserts to throw in there whenever I don't fully understand something because of the language barrier. Now, as for the footage we'll be looking at, Arthur's was streaming Final Fantasy XIV Mobile, and as such, we will largely be referencing that footage unless there's something in particular that I feel like we can glean from a clip on Twitter or YouTube or another channel as a whole. I have his permission to do so. I spoke with him about it already. So we're going to be looking at the character creator. So this is a very tone-setting thing, because, you know, for the Final Fantasy XIV's character creator is okay, but it's definitely, you know, it's shown its age. You know, it's definitely one of the things that people have been waiting to see a major update, and the closest thing we got was some of the fixed stuff when we got the graphics update. Like, they said, oh, we have to adjust this, that, and this, and that, and make this feature, that. Like, those are tiny things we got. Those tiny W's. So, taking a look at the mobile version, which is not made by Square, not hindered by the engine that Final Fantasy XIV runs on, is definitely going to be intriguing, to say the least. So, without further ado, we're probably going to have to skip through this a little bit. But right from the get-go, it's loading in. So we can just see, this looks like it's very similar to what we already have right now. You know, it's like, oh, you have the male and female base options. You have the race options as well. So there's not a whole lot really to pull from this first one. We're really looking for the actual customization of it. And then it looks like this is just like the event notice. So yeah, this is like a notice board style thing that you can click in the top right. It's hidden behind his, I think those are guinea pigs. And it just gives you all the information that you need. See, it's like, oh, here's Triple Triad. There's a Titan challenge. There's, you know, this mount. There's all sorts of the usual like mobile board things that pop up. And then all the different menus that he's going through right here just to showcase he's clicking on each and every thing that you have. So these just look like friends lists, characters, friends lists, and then all options that are available. And then it looks like there's also regions in the bottom right. I don't know if the bottom section was the character, but he doesn't have a character yet, so that wouldn't make sense. All right, so then he just clicks on the different ones. Yeah, so each of the icons on the left is going to be one of the races, as we predicted with that. It looks like you can also scroll through a bunch of pre-made options, because at the top you can actually see a whole bunch of dots as well. And each of those dots probably represents some sort of pre-made model. It's actually, no, I'm sorry. Those are the character creator steps at the top. This is step 1. Choosing the race and gender of the character comes with a little bit of a lore briefing on the right-hand side. If you've been playing the game long enough, you don't need me to potentially get the lore and everything translated on the side there. I think if you cared enough, you care and you know already. All right. So other than that, characters look fine. It's exactly like you'd expect from a Final Fantasy XIV character. There's not a whole lot to say. You know, you have your Mikotes and your Rugadins, and you're, of course, going for the cat girl. I'm not surprised in any way. Looks like the clan was the very next option, as you'd expect. So you get to choose between the two different clans, which is exactly as ours is now. Obviously, the UI changed around a little bit for this. You can see the two kind of crystals on the left-hand side, showcasing a visual display of what each of them looks like before even clicking onto them. And then you'll actually get the preview window here. And then again, there's the lore on the right-hand side of each of the different clans. Then we have what looks to be coming up is like some of the pre-mades. You can see some faces when he clicks on to the next part of the menu right here. You see some pre-made stuff on the left, and then the individual options on the right side. Looks like there's outfits and emotes and times of day. Those all change like either what you look like or the background that you have. Looks like there's also a day and night or a weather cycle. Yeah, so you can just get a few ideas, do some different poses. And then again, you have some of the default looks that are available here on the left-hand side. And then you can choose to customize them further. There's an option at the very bottom of that allows you to, looks like customize and make something else entirely. Oh, no, I think the options at the bottom are your pre-saved characters, actually. I think this is the base, and then the next one's customization. And at the very bottom is the option to, like, if you have a character appearance saved, you can pull it at the bottom. Just like we have that now, but it's done at a different time, basically. Yeah, just clicking that. They can't really change time of day. Either that or those functions don't work. It might require a different background, but it looks like the time option, everything doesn't work. So we have face. It actually is very similar-ish. So there's a bunch of different colors, as you can see. I can barely tell the difference. I'm colorblind. That number of options is completely useless to me. But it basically just has several options for the actual color of the skin. It looks like a lot of those might be placeholders too, because I think they are all actually the same. I don't think I'm crazy. I think that the right-hand side is all placeholders and they're not representing the actual colors. It does look like the darkest ones are on the right, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not matching up to all the... No, actually, maybe they really are just that similar. Yeah, they really are just that similar tone-wise. Some of them seemed a little different. And then looks like there's 4 facial options. So actually, not too dissimilar from 14's in terms of the number of kind of set options. You can see the different faces right here. I was worried, bro, that the list on the right, or it was gonna let you do like BDO stuff where you could stretch the cheeks. I'm like, oh no, oh no. These are eyes here that's being looked through. You can just see a few basic changes for the eyes. Man, I'm at least glad that it wasn't like the crazy customization. I mean, I guess glad isn't the right word. It's more like I'm glad we don't have to say it's that different from the other one. The eyebrows getting angrier and angrier. So these are just all the different facial features. These are the nose. There's 6 different presets for that as well. You can get it. He's just taking an angle from the side right now. Just clicking through them all. Really, really looking for the right nose. Dude, I click through character creators so quick, and then these are lips. Yeah, so these are just all facial features going down the list between all 5 of them. So far, it's actually very similar to Final Fantasy XIV's total options. That kind of makes sense because they are, at the end of the day, those are just the irises, looking... They are basically modeling everything off of the 14 stuff. So, again, a bunch of different color options here. I actually like that the color options are also numbered. So you can be like, oh, what color are your eyes? 116. 124, whatever. I'm colorblind. It still means nothing to me because I'm colorblind. But at the very least, we have all of that. And then also looking at which colors are these. Okay, well, he skipped those, so I guess I don't know which. This is eyeshadow. Well, this is the different tattoos. So these are, oh goodness, those are some big eyebrow tattoos. Yeah, so these are just our usual tattoo options for Final Fantasy XIV. Looks like they're largely the same. The heart, the half face thing, the dots, the whiskers, all that stuff being painted on. And this, I'd assume, is the tattoo color or whatever facial feature color you've actually decided to take, which means it won't do anything here. And then you have scars as well, which again, it's another option that's a lot like ours. So it is actually very, very similar to what our character creator, like it's nigh identical to what our character creator achieves. So you should be able to pretty easily make basically the same character, assuming you're not an Aura or a Hrothgar or a Viera, since, you know, those aren't here yet. It's just doing the Realm Reborn base classes for the time being. Looks like he's looking for the colors there, and I can't see those. Looks like those were some more facial options or highlight options. Then we have the different hairstyles, which again, I assume will be the largely similar ones. Of course, the Ishtola hairstyles right there. It's funny watching the hair as it's clicked. It takes like a second to render after it's clicked. So you see when it clicks, it's like initially kind of like a pixely mess, and then it like smoothens out and it actually looks like the hairstyle that it's supposed to be. So yeah, same hairstyles as well. All right, so it looks like we've got a character creator that's pretty much identical. I mean, I know I've said that a few times, but like I'm looking for differences. Like I'm actively looking for them. Which is probably for the bet, dude. I was so worried their character creator. Like I said, I expect some things to be better if the character creator was better. There are some things that when they are inevitably better because it's being made by a different company and it's not made on 14's engine, when they are inevitably better, they will, of course, cause a bit of a ruckus. But if the character creator had been significantly better, man, the storm that would have followed. Although, to be fair, we really do need both games. I guess it's fair to say now that both retail 14 and mobile 14 actually could use better character creators. Like, I get that this is at least loyal to 14, but the bottom line is most people want more out of their character creator for 14. And so I think that's still a fair piece of feedback slash, I don't know, not even assessment, just criticism. It's a fair amount of criticism that comes with it. I'm surprised he's spending this long on hair. I mean, I guess he's to be fair, he's not even checking out the hair. He's genuinely trying to decide the hair he wants most. This is height. Yeah. That's just a height slider. You know, no biggie there. No real surprise. Is that 162 centimeters for the max height? No, it can't be centimeters. Oh, actually, maybe it is. I don't know. Tall. Very tall. This is voice, which I assume that these are the same as the Chinese voices, more so. These will probably not be options that we have, I assume. Suppose I could try listening to a few. Oh, no, they're the same as our voices. I wasn't sure if the Chinese client had different voices than ours. Maybe they are. I don't actually know.
Nah,
it's not that fun. Okay. Just very expressive. All right, and then it looks like he's just going over the options one last time. I like that she keeps turning to look at the camera. Stop! She's like, you can't escape. I just want to see the side of you. I mean, it's an option to enable, but it's still funny to me. Interesting. So it looks like he actually had a few options saved there. Look, see, it's like resetting between. Interesting.
Okay.
All right. And then the different backgrounds. I don't know if it's actually going to work with the different types of day. I mean, not with this background. It's not. Can't really change the weather without the outside backgrounds being available, or change the time of day without the outside backgrounds being available. That's just not going to work. I'd assume that'll make more sense once there's actually more backgrounds to preview against. Yep. And then it's just going through the face options again. And at that point, it looks like it gives you the option of saving the character. Or at least that was the option that he took. Like he clicked the save button. And then the rest of the character creation options from there. Obviously, you're going to have to pick your name day. And all the other usual character stuff that we have. So you have the calendar, you know, for whichever month. All the astral and umbrals. And then, of course, have to pick your sign. I'm an Azima person. And then there's a quick preview. Oh, then we have the actual job choice here as well. So it looks like... Well, I guess actually, I don't know. I'll have to wait. Yeah, so there's a brief description of the bard. It also has a difficulty meter, it looks like. And it also lists that you need to be a level 15 archer to become bard first in the bottom right as well. So job stones are at level 15 here. So what you're seeing is the job gear that would come with bard. Obviously, we all know that from A Realm Reborn. But you can also see the options on the left-hand side. Pugilist, which will tell you become monk at 15. Lancer, it tells you you'll become dragoon. But the difficulty meter is interesting in the bottom right. So they're saying bard is a 4-star difficulty, so not exactly new player friendly. That makes sense given from what we've seen. Bard is one of the more interactive jobs with their new job gauge that they have that we've seen. The whole rhythm game timing thing for repertoire is something I would totally welcome in retail 14 as well. So let's see if he clicks any of the other ones. So yeah, like Monk is 5-star, Dragoon is 3-star. Again, it's just listing that, you know, Lancer will become Dragoon at level 15 in the bottom right, which is a good bit of information. Summoner, Scholar. Black Mage is a 5-star. No surprises there. Summoner is only a 3-star. I'm not going to lie. I thought it would be 1-star. And it looks like for because you're just picking the base class, it looks like when you click Arcanist, it actually then breaks off into the Summoner and Scholar options in the preview. Although it's interesting because Scholar doesn't have a difficulty in the bottom right. Gladiator's only a 2, or Paladin. Warrior's a what? Maybe it's the mobile. Listen, I don't think any of the tanks need to be over a 2. If Gladiator's a 2, Warrior, but then again, the way the job's playing, maybe it'll be different. Maybe it'll be different. That's it. I mean, we know it's different, but still. And then the Conjurer being a 1, White Mage being a 1. That's so funny. A 1, bro. It's crazy how this game already knows, like, I mean, based on the retail game, that not only is White Mage easy as hell to play, but that only one person plays it. That's crazy. That's what the stars are for, right? That's the number of people on average who play it. 1 in every 5, right? That's what the stars are, right? When Astro is there, it's going to need to go like 6 out of 5 for every single one. And then actually, so there's a job preview, it looks like, in the character creator itself, where you can actually preview every single action that the job gets. Oh, this is a nice little change for what all your skills will look like at level 50. So yeah, it shows the job gauge in the top right. It's got a few different options on the right side to change things up. It's got the cooldown. It's got the overall effect of the job itself. It's got what your hotbar will look like. So this is another little bit. Oh, we could be here for a while. So the big thing is I obviously can't read most of this stuff, or any of it. Arthur's can translate it technically. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? Wait, we have technology. I can just pull up the translator on my phone and just hold it up to the screen. I don't need people who speak languages. I've got technology. Wait. Here it goes. Camera. All right, for example, this is, please let it work. This is, okay, it just translated this move to train stop. Maybe this wasn't the best idea. Main activity. So the bar on the left says it's a main action. So that means it's one of the actions around the bar. It'll transform into another action, it looks like, and it is an attack style option. It has a range of 15 meters. So this is a movement skill. Obviously, this is train stop is their gap closer. I just think it's really funny that it translated to train stop. Come on, retranslate it. I lost the translation. Okay, maybe the Google Lens wasn't the best option here. It's not always the smoothest thing. Bring it back. Give me my words back. There we go. So physical attack causes you to move, can't be used while bound. Skill power 42, learned at level 5. So there you go. That's everything we have here. So the first one is the cooldown, the first action, the first thing that's listed there. The second one is how many resources it consumes. In this case, none. So if you ever see that symbol, it means nothing. Where it says the 15, that's the range of the skill. The next is the actual skill effect. That's just explaining what the skill does. So, you know what the gap closer does. And then it has the skill power at the bottom being 42. That's the potency, and what level is learned is at the very bottom itself. So Paladin gets their gap closer at level 5, which is absolutely hilarious. But with that, we can now learn what absolutely everything does. So obviously we have Circle of Scorn right here, which translates to misfortune on my Google Lens. 12-second cooldown, 5-meter range, area of attack physical with a skill power of 150. So it doesn't look like it actually has a dot component here, according to this description. Then we have Sentinel, obviously. With this, looks like we can already read that it's clearly like a 30%, but it actually has quite a bit of text. Come on, Google Lens, work with me here. How long could it possibly take to translate this? Come on. I want to know why it has so much more text. The Sentinel has so much more text. So clearly you learn it. So it has a 40-second cooldown. Dude, Google Lens is hilarious. Obtain the envoy himself. Police. Airport police effect. All right, Google Lens is making this way funnier. It's calling the first effect airport police. I don't know why, but it is. Receive damage reduction by 30%. During this period, the Kyoto police will 20% presence. Injurious. He is a 20-year-old member of the Seiko Junction. What is this? This isn't what it says. Okay, I don't think the Google Lens is reliable. I don't think we can necessarily use this right now. Like, why is it giving me somebody's history about their time with the Kyoto police as the translation? So it adds 20%. So, okay. Added 20% when that looks like it fades over time. Duration for 8 seconds. A shield. Yeah. So it has some sort of effect that goes beyond it. We're not going to be able to get all the effects out of this. I don't think that's going to do. It's going to do what we thought it was going to do. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, when AI articles are written, they usually turn out really bad. 20% of the damage you receive during the active period will become a shield for you and your party at the end of the duration. Okay, so Rampart has a party shield tied to it. It's just you take damage while Sentinel is up, and then at the end of Sentinel, it gives the party a shield. That's what it does, based on 20% of the damage that you take. That's a lot better than the Kyoto police and somebody's first day on the department, or whatever the hell it was trying to say in my Google Lens. That's funny. It's funny, though. All right, this is Fight or Flight. I mean, this we can see has a 25-second cooldown, has a 0 range because it's just self-taught. Hey, I was reading that. Fight or Flight looks like it increases your damage by 20% for 10 seconds. That's not a surprise. I'm sorry, not for 10 seconds. Come on, translate the bottom. No, that's right. You learned it at level 8, right? Yeah, so it lasts for 10 seconds and you learn it at level 8. That's fine. You learn Fight or Flight at the relatively early level as well. Then we have this. Just shield. The player obtains a shield. This technique has different effects depending on the length of time. Fast movement in one-step direction. Use the skill to shorten the cooldown time. Interesting. So is this just raising the shield? It looks like you can dash to a player, in a sense. Short arm. It's actually got a huge description that I can't even get the entire thing of. Shortens the cooldown time by... Use this skill to... Oh, it shortens the cooldown of another skill by 15 seconds, it looks like. Fast movement in the morning in the direction. Yeah, so it looks like you can dash to a player and shorten the cooldown. Its effect depends on how long you actually hold the button. So it looks like it's just... interesting. It seems to mention a cooldown in the lens, but as we've learned, the lens cannot be relied on. One step distance. Yeah, it looks like it's just a movement. Dude, I kid you not. The support skills, and it's funny that I'm looking at Arthur's. The support skills, so main activity, obviously, because it's on the main bar. Transference as well. But the middle one at the top, where it's under the skill, you know, there's the 3 different colors. It translates on Google Lens, I kid you not, to Sasuke. Which I think it's trying to say it's a movement or a support ability. But on the Google Lens, it just translates to Sasuke. So, clearly AI has not come far enough. Clearly technology has not come far enough for it to read Sasuke. This is a roll action. So now he's previewing the roll actions right now. So this should be Rampart. Looks like 20% damage reduction for 20 seconds. Every 30 seconds. Come on. Finish translating just so I can double check. Just so I know. Well, and no, he learns it at level 30. It has a cooldown of 90 seconds. I keep forgetting the order. Cooldown of 90 seconds, 20% damage reduction for 20 seconds, and you learn it at level 30. It looks like there's something else at the bottom here. Oh, study conditions. Probably just saying that you need to be on Paladin. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's definitely interesting to say the least. Then for this, we saw this skill. This skill looked really cool in the preview because it looks like it's a multi-action button. Wave cut, cooldown 12 seconds. Shoots an attack in the direction that the enemy is with it says that the power of the option, I kid you not, it says mother-in-law's power 65. I wish you could see what it says on my Google Lens. It's just saying the potency is 65, obviously. But the fact that the translation says mother-in-law, for some reason, is wild. These translations are great. So obviously, that's just the first part. As you can see, it is technically a 2-part action. So that's just what that one looks like. If he clicks the second one, you'll see what the second one's power is. Yeah, and then that's the combo action that comes out of it. We saw this before. Also, another skill. That has a skill power of 300. So obviously, that's the main power point. Cooldown of 12 seconds, so you'll be using that fairly frequently. And this only has a range of 4. So there is that as well. Yeah, that's just the combo action. And then the basic attack, which it just gives you the potency of, looks like it's 42. That's just the, well, each different part of your basic auto attack combo, which is where you get just for pressing the button when you're not using any of your skills. Just not too much potency. It was like 20, 30, it's 20, 25, 42 for the potencies of the basic combo right there. Yes, and the area of effect did say AoE. Anytime it's got like a range or anything listed, that automatically means it's like some form of, well, I guess it doesn't mean it's AoE, it's just the range of the skill. But this is all enemies in a line, and then the second one is all enemies at target destinate. Yeah, I've got that here as well. So that's for Paladin. And then this is Sentinel again. This we managed to figure out. So this looks like, oh, and then these are the traits right here. So obviously there was Shield Bash, which looked like it had a power of 120. But then we have the actual traits right here. So this is Enhanced Circle of Scorn. Oh, maybe Enhanced Circle of Scorn. Oh, and then you've also got the Limit Break preview as well. I actually want to see what Enhanced Circle of Scorn does. It probably, does it give it the dot? During the course, yeah, okay. Wait, no, the enemy, let's see. Interesting. So this is, during the course of Circle of Scorn, the enemy is given a debuff, damage equal to... Oh, no, I think this is the dot. Yeah, this is the dot. It's saying that it does like 20% of the damage as like a dot. Or something in that capacity. That's a big old one. Gain a shield equal to 20% of your HP when you hit an enemy. Oh, wow, it says that the enemy takes an effect on this. This is why I'm glad that we have people who can actually read it. Or have already found someone who's translated it properly. Yeah, directional movement, range 4 meters. Directional movement, small force, physical attack. Yep, skill power, range is 4 meters. All right. That's Paladin. Yeah, and then we had the... I'll go back to that one more time. Oh, come on. Yep. Shield strike, yep. I mean, this does what you thought it would do. All I'm learning is that there's a lot more to learn. And that's just one. There's all of them still now, too. Goodness gracious. The fact that they have all of this, we're about to be here for a real hot minute, as far as I'm concerned. All right. I mean, this just looks like it's got a handful of effects on it. I remember wondering, because this seemed a little bit different. So this costs 20 beast gauge. That's what the... So under where it says 120 is the skill power, right under that is its gauge cost. And then if you're in the middle of inner release, it looks like it costs nothing, which we saw in the gameplay trailer. Yeah, so that's the other thing. So while you're in the middle of inner release, this won't cost anything. Let's see. Next, just have to make sure. This is a skill power of 130. This is Fell Cleave, obviously. So, cost 50 gauge, skill power of 130. And you learned it at level 20. All right. And it's got a range of 5. God, the Fell Cleave animation is so fast. We also have the 3-part combo that comes with it. Oh, hold on. I just realized I accidentally sped up the clip. Either way. That's in a release. So fortunately, we should be able to recognize. Yeah, this is just saying that your Beast Spirit will cost nothing. Yeah, the player gains primordial liberation as it translates to. It says, yeah, well, when the stone is released, necessary for, yeah, lasts for 5 seconds. Okay. Yeah, it just says that doesn't give it any beast gauge. Once every 30 seconds, it looks like. Yeah, duration is 5 seconds. Wait, is that inner release or is that? Yeah, that's inner release. It's not inner or one of the other ones. All right, yeah. And then you just go, go, go. Yeah, because that I know that there's a 3-part action to Fell Cleave as well. All right, well, this is just the AoE. This is just saying an AoE that's 105 potency. So, nothing fancy there. With a cooldown of 13 seconds. That's an interesting amount of cooldown. Ah, that's right, but you have to swap between the swap between the action. Yeah, because it's not just that, because you can swap between. I don't know if he took notice of that. Well, I guess that's just the 2-part combo. He just doesn't click on the second part of the combo, it looks like. Yeah, because he didn't click on the second part. At least it doesn't look like he clicks on the second part. Then we have... dude, the auto-translate calls this Super Axe. Hold on, I gotta reset it. So cooldown of 35. This is what's it called? Infuriate, basically. Just gain 50 points of gauge with a cooldown of 35 seconds. Also gives you Primitive Chaos, which I'd assume is what's going to transform the skill. Yeah, because it gives them Primordial Chaos as well. But it's not even Super Axe with an E. It's just Super Axe. Like, yeah, that's Infuriate, basically. It's just AX. Axe. Alright, that looks like the Gap Closer. So, yep. That is a Gap Closer, 8-second cooldown, 75 power, learned at level 4. Nothing fancy there. Has a range of 15. Oh my goodness, dude, there's so many skills. So that's Vengeance, obviously. Reduces damage taken by 30%. It doesn't mention the revenge damage, but that might be the second hit. It might just be like the revenge hit that comes afterwards, since it does not mention... It also has a 40-second cooldown. Yeah, it doesn't mention the return damage back to player, but he didn't click on the second action, so we have that. This looks like the... What's it called? This restore... What's it? Thrill of Battle. It's Thrill of Battle. Yeah, it says the same thing. It increases your maximum stamina by 20% and heals you by 20% as well. Duration 10 seconds, learned at level 12. So that does pretty much what you would expect to do. With a cooldown of 25 seconds as well. That's... Man, I wonder if this works the same. Raw Intuition. This is the same effect based on skill development and time. Interesting. One small step. This skill cooldown to 1.5. Looks like it's a primitive... It looks like it's a held button, just like that other one. If I'm understanding this correctly, this is another... If you hold it for longer, it does something. Yeah. I am... Okay. So anytime my lens reads... one small step distance, for some reason that translates to... Yeah, so the effect changes depending on how long you actually hold the button. Unfortunately, unless he scrolls down, I can't read the rest of it to see what it actually does. Only a 12-second cooldown. I don't even want to repeat what it says right here. I mean, I'd imagine it's blood weapon. Long tap is skill. Yeah, short tap. Short tap is the movement. Long tap is the skill. I don't even want to repeat what my phone is trying to say. That raw intuition. It's funny because it's raw intuition, but it's got the bloodwetting, full bloodwetting animation. It keeps changing what the very bottom says because it can't read it because it's cut off. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get a translation for that while he's covering the bottom text. I mean, I'd assume it works identical to the current raw intuition and bloodwetting and all that. So... I mean, if it looks like it, it probably does something at least very close to identical. All right, Provoke. Do we really need to do Provoke? 20-second cooldown, learned at level 8. Yeah, we already did Thrill of Battle. Basic combo. Their basic combo is a little weaker. I can't help but notice. Yeah, there's interlace. He's just clicking through the beginning. He's going to click onto the second action this time? No, he's not going to click onto the second action this time. All right. Let's start skipping through since I've started to get a rhythm for actually understanding. Oh boy, here's White Mage. All right, let's see. Come on. I can see it. I mean, it has a potency of 95. It's just cure. How many friends are in the middle position? Interesting. So, this isn't just cure. This is, it's cure 3, I believe. Obviously, it's not going to translate well. But I think it's saying, or it's Medica, sorry. 190 MP cost, cooldown of 0 seconds. And it looks like... What's interesting is it doesn't just read that it does an AoE heal. It seems to imply... I think it's just saying it's AoE in this description. It's a very weird way to read it. Heal the target if you're not targeting a friendly character with auto heal the lowest. Yes. Okay, that makes sense with what it says. It does say the lowest physical stamina of a friend. It just doesn't... The whole auto target thing isn't taken into full account. Listen, I'm doing my best. This is a cooldown of 19 seconds, consumes 300 MP. This is just an attack. It's a 300 potency of attack. Physical strength. Looks like it heals slightly. Oh, is this a size? It doesn't say a size, but yeah, this is the 300 potency on an opponent, and it looks like a 30 potency heal on everyone around the opponent when they're hit. Lightning fast singing. Yeah, that's definitely what it's called. 500 MP just increases spell casting time by 20 seconds. 10 seconds, own and surrounding personal's physical strength. So it has a special effect at the bottom. It increases their cast speed by 20%. We already know how that works. And then no, actually that's fine. And then duration of 10 seconds. No, okay, it does what it says. And then you learn it at level 12. That's fine. It was just translating weird. Trying to go. What? Nope. We gotta do this one now. 5-second cooldown. This is their movement skill, as you can see from the preview. This is a very recent skill. Theirs looks so cool, though. Look at that. Yeah, it's saying the cooldowns. It's just Pia. It's just the same skill that we have now. It obviously is going to reduce the recast, but it's reducing the recast of other skills as well. There's the Blood Lily. Skill power of 429. Blood Lily obviously doesn't take much explaining in this particular scenario. Yeah, potency of 429. Learned at level 30. Cost of 180. And then that's what's the AoE of Flatus called? Well, that's what it was. Yeah, obviously you need your Blood Lily to cast the Blood Lily, and then you also have the heal. Looks like a potency of 120. Cost 1 regular Lily to heal yourself and those nearby. Obviously, that's just how it works. Flatus Rapture, that's what it actually got it right on my phone. They called it Heart of Rapture, but it said a Flatus Rapture. And then this is... Does this heal? So 730. Am I bugging, or does this heal for 20% of the damage taken at the end of the effect? That's what I think is happening here. So you put that on, and then after the duration finishes, it heals for 20% of the damage taken. If I'm understanding this correctly. Yeah, add Annecy. Adds 20% of the effect. Add 20% to the effect of the treatment received. Increase heal effective. Okay, so no, it just increases healing received by 20%. I'm trying to get all of the words, but some of them are too similar. And then I think that's it. I think he's previewed pretty much all the... Oh, no, well, we've got Holy, which is on target, by the way. Can't help but notice that Holy is on the opponent. Look, see? Bam! Yeah, it's just a ranged nuke. I think it says 267 potency. Click it again. Yeah. 267 potency. AoE attack on the opponent. Doesn't stun, it looks like, anymore. Yeah, and then that was the size equivalent again. White Mage pretty easy to understand. Dude, I expect Monk to be an absolute nightmare to fully understand. Just because there's going to be so many actions that need to be gone through. Alright, so obviously we have Dragon Kick right here. Potency of 220. Just that's it, and then it activates the next skill. So then there's Twin Snakes. It looks like, or whatever this is. Yeah, that's it's called Twin Dragon Legs here. Same deal. And then that's Demolish. So yeah. I like that the training dummy is just barely visible on the screen, by the way. 5-star difficulty. Yeah, so it looks like you have your different combos. You have because this is the rear combo right here, what we would deign the rear combo. But it looks like the idea is the same to go between the two combos back and forth. That seems to be the idea that's there. That's Anatman, but Anatman does. We saw that Anatman did something different in the preview. It would help if I didn't cover my lens. 2 seconds, user can obtain no. Yeah, so we saw that Anatman basically at the end of it gives you a buff in the job action trailer that we saw not too long ago. It's got a cooldown of 1 minute and begins accumulation at the start. Yeah, it says it gives an effect called No Self, which I'm assuming just gives you access to another skill. I think we saw, I forgot what it did, because we were able to break it down when we did the job action trailer. We were able to like largely figure out what it did from that, but it's already left my mind. It's also got a whole bunch of text underneath that I can't translate because, again, you know, he's in front of it, so I can't read that part. This is form shift. Does it still do the same thing? 4 levels fist. 50% higher physical. It looks like it also buffs your next attack by the looks of it. Because it said that it increases. I think it gives you a 50, because it's got a 15-second cooldown. So it looks like it allows you to use any of the skills and then also buffs it by 50%. If I'm understanding. It might only buff one of the skills by 50%, but it just says 50% higher physical damage. And then this is, you know, chakras. Forbidden chakra. You press it, it gives you your chakras, and then you forbidden chakra. Then we have tornado kick. Consumes 5 levels. Yeah, I can see why, because it looks like there's like a whole bunch of levels that need to be consumed by things. Yeah, so there's that. That's just saying it goes up to 5 levels, and then you release all 5 to do forbidden chakra. Then we have tornado kick, which has a 27-second cooldown. Looks like it just does damage. Doesn't look like it does anything else. I mean, you get it at level 2, basically. It's just, yeah. It's just a long cooldown big hit that you learn at level 2. Yeah, unfortunately, he only clicked on part 1. Forbidden Chakra is part 2, though. And then there's Elixir Field, which, you know, we saw the updated animation to that already. So we already knew that this was going to be the case. Come on. And then we have get to Elixir Field. Come on. I believe. There we go. We haven't gotten to look at any of the traits, really. Level 18, 280 potency, 25-second cooldown. The text at the bottom, the quote study conditions, I think it's just being a job. Yeah, it just looks like it's an AoE around the target, 280 potency. So, basic function. Back to Tornado Kick. These are the auto attacks. That looks like it's just second wind. 90-second cooldown. Looks like it heals you for 25% of your max health at level 8. Yep, 25% of your max health. That's just Thunderclap, 2-second cooldown. And then, yeah, I'd assume it's based on how long you hold the action. It does have a follow-up action, which looks to be a follow-up somersault kick. It looks like that action all the way on the right is almost always a tap and hold option. Every single one. They also have 4 basic attacks that go through all the different animations instead of just 3 like the other jobs do. And the last one does not have any sort of special effect. All right, so that was it for that. He didn't look through all the riddles, I think. Did he look through Riddle of Earth, Wind, and Fire? No, I don't think he did. I mean, we can assume Riddle of Earth, Wind, and Fire work at least somewhat similarly. We know they all have different cooldowns, so you can see on the right-hand side, the leaning options. Like you basically press the button and lean in the direction, it'll pull up a wheel. We've seen that with a bunch of other skills. It does the same with the roll actions at the bottom. There's 4 different outside sections. So like you would press that and then go top left and it would activate Riddle of Wind. If you go down, it would activate Riddle of Earth. If you go top right, it would activate Riddle of Fire. We can at least assume that those are similar enough. Riddle of Wind is probably a little bit different, but I imagine Fire and Earth are largely similar. I don't know about their follow-up actions, though. I don't really recall from the job action trailer. All right. Then we have Dragoon as the next one here. And I should probably not hold this up to the screen when there's literally nothing on the screen. So that's jump. Looks like jump to target position, physical attack, the jumping position. Okay. So it's... Oh, so that was... Hold on. I gotta put this back at normal speed. Yeah, it looks like it's just jump and then it becomes... Oh, that's the enhanced jump when you're in Blood of the Dragon. That's what that second one is. Yeah, it's jump and high jump, but one of them's the regular jump that you do, and the other one is specifically when you're in Blood of the Dragon. It's the enhanced effect. Just does more damage, it looks like. Mirage Dive and then Enhance. So it looks like when you're in Blood of the Dragon, all the attacks become a slightly different variant on themselves, except for this one. That's just Battle Litany. That's 10%. I mean, that does what you think it would do. 10% crit rate for 10 seconds with a 1-minute cooldown. Nothing major there. Then we have their AoE. This is just their basic AoE. Yep, that's just a 320 potency AoE in that direction. 10-second cooldown. Learned at level 2. You have, what is their Skogul equivalent coming back. Come on, there it is. Skogul with a completely different animation, as you can tell. Looks like a potency of 235, and it activates an extra effect for 10 seconds. It looks like it activates Skogul. That's what it looks like at the very least. Although I'm pretty sure we saw that there's a different, that something else does that more specifically. But yeah, I think it activates blood. No, because that only activated Blood of the Dragon for 10 seconds. Blood of the Dragon is 30 seconds here, so we know Blood of the Dragon is 30 seconds. Yeah, it activates Mirage Dive. It gives you the ability to activate Mirage Dive afterwards. That's why he was going back and forth between the two. All right. I'm just clicking through all the skills so quick before I can translate them. All right, here we go. So this one has a potency of 420. You can't do it while you're moving. This is Dragonfire Dive. And it also... Oh, I think this gives you access to the enhanced jump for 10 seconds. So the other one gives you Mirage Dive, and this one gives you the enhanced jump. It's not specific to Blood of the Dragon. That's what's happening. And this is a 30-second cooldown as well. Yeah, that's what's happening. That has a skill power of 420, and then that allows you to access the high jump for 10 seconds afterwards. Okay. That works out. Next we have... This is a 30-second cooldown. And it looks like this is Blood of the Dragon. Or it gives you Blood of the Dragon. Because this says increases your damage by 10%. But it does have the follow-up version of the skill, which has a 35-second cooldown. This is Blood of the Dragon. Looks like when you're in Blood of the Dragon and you activate it, it's 20% instead of 10%. That's what it looks like based on this. So maybe it's saying if you have... Yeah, because it also, you can see that the eye becomes the blood eye. Oh, no. That's just what it always looks like throughout this. Because you can see the Blood of the Dragon is active pretty much the entire time. It's just interesting because it has two different versions. So maybe when you press the first one, it gives you the 10-second buff. It just makes sure the gauge has anything in it. And then when you press it the second time, it activates Blood of the Dragon. But Blood of the Dragon has the longer cooldown of the two. That's what it looks like. Okay, let me just go back to that. Because this has a 30-second cooldown and the other one has a 35-second cooldown. Which is interesting. And they both have pretty much the identical effect. So yeah, I'm guessing it's just Blood of the Dragon. I mean, this is literally says red blood. So it's just the way that they're kind of chained together. And without being able to read all the text underneath his face, it makes it a little hard to understand it fully. But yeah, that's Blood of the Dragon. That's the animation for Blood of the Dragon. So there is that as well. I wonder if that button just looks like that unless you have the prerequisite for blood. So like maybe the button turns red when you can actually activate Blood of the Dragon, but if you need to activate it without Blood of the Dragon, it at least does something. Yeah, and then you can see all the enhanced abilities over there. This just looks like it replaces Dragon Sight. Instead, it looks like it's just a buff on yourself. Let's see if there's any sort of effect. 30-second cooldown. The player gets the right eye. Unfortunately, it cuts off at the bottom. Looks like it gives the player the right eye of the dragon. It gives them a 10% damage buff. I can't read. Bro, the translation... Hold on, let me see if it translates to the same thing again. That was wild. I'm going to read the translation because it's funny. AI has not come far enough. The servant himself recently acquired the dragon left eye, and when he was 12 years old, he was born in a group of friends with a friend who was not present. I don't think that's what the ability does. You just have to get closer to the left eye. Pretty sure. That's a whole fanfic and a half, yeah. It affects you and a player near you, basically. But if you're too far away, it will only affect you. It's Dragon Sight. That's all you need to know. It's Dragon Sight. And it has a 12 yalm range, is what it is. All right, this is elusive jump, but I can't help but notice that it's actually 3 different. Oh, wait, no, yeah, it's a jump back. It looks like followed by 2 follow-up attacks. So it looks like it's a 3-part combo. That's the actual jump back that we've seen that has a 10-second cooldown. And then the last one looks like Spine Shatter Dive. So I'm waiting. Yeah, these read the same, but it looks like this primes the second one and only has a 2-second cooldown. That's weird. And then those are the drop. Click the third one! I like that the pot is on. This is arm's length. Does exactly what you'd expect. These are the potions that you can carry on you, it looks like. That's just to activate your pot. I'm trying to read what... Dude, that other ability, the auto-translate, calls it pumping. This one right here. 90-second cooldown. Increases outgoing damage by 10% for 20 seconds. And it's learned at level 30. This looks like a personal damage buff that everyone has once every 90 seconds. Or at least the DPS roll action does. Oh, no, I think it's actually faint. Hold on. It's saying the enemy does less damage, not you do more damage. Yeah, that's faint. It's just a very interesting looking bit. Activate. In the case of damage, the physical strength itself is increased the amount of damage. Oh, no, I think it actually is Bloodbath. I think you're right. It says that the strength is increased by 10%, but I think what it's saying is that they're healing for 10% of the damage that you deal. Yeah, that's Bloodbath. That makes sense given that it's just melee roll actions. Why wouldn't they keep the same icon for that? And then this was the follow-up skill. We saw this one earlier. That's the enhanced Mirage Dive right there. The 600 potency Mirage Dive. Then the jump and the high jump. Yep, just going back and forth. And then now we get a look at the traits. This is probably just Blood of the Dragon at level 50. Yeah, that's just saying you get Blood of the Dragon at level 50. That's all that's saying. It looks like the rest of it, you know, levels up as you get to those different level breakpoints. Like, it looks like it's 3 Life of the Dragon and then a Blood of the... Yeah, so it looks like it's Life of the Dragon is a different percentage for each of them. And then at level 50, you actually get Blood of the Dragon. All right. Then we get to Bard. Oh, man. Bard's going to be wild. Bard, the rhythm game job. The fact that Bard is only a 4-star is actually kind of wild to me. This is a 480 potency physical attack. I mean, it's pitch perfect. What do you expect? What the hell? That's a giant explode. That's a 550 potency attack. Those are probably both related to timing your songs, I'd assume. But those are just 2 really strong potency attacks on the same button. with the conditions that are being covered up. Rain of Death, no cooldown, physical attack, AoE. I believe that that doesn't have a cooldown. So if that doesn't have a cooldown, that's because it only can be used off of certain skills. I'm trying to read that bottom bit to see what it says. Yeah, it just has a condition for release. Okay, it looks like you have to do the other attack next to it first in order to actually release it. Or at least it has an optional thing after you use it the other way. This is a 45-second cooldown. It's probably Raging Strikes. Yep, increases your damage by 10% for 12 seconds. Learned at level 50. All right. Although I could have sworn this was the Apex shot. Hold on. It says... It's not what it says. Wait, yeah. Duration 12 seconds. Learned at level 50. Yeah. The Envoy himself gains strong strength. Increases damage caused by construction. Yeah. It's Raging Strikes. Yeah, it had a 30% chance to proc after every skill. Some of the animations on Bard are so cool. 200 potency, AoE, 15-second cooldown. Venomous Bite. Does this still really only last 6 seconds? Yeah, it looks like Venomous Bite gives access to a follow-up skill based on the description that it had briefly there. Yeah, because this says that the dot does indeed only last, does not last very long. So it does 160 damage and then does 240 potency over 6 seconds. That's what it does. Okay. And then this is 200 potency. Looks like it's just AoE, 15 seconds. Learned at level 4. No surprise. That's how most of the jobs seem to have worked. And then this is Leg Graze. Hold on. We got to go back to Leg Graze. Looks like Leg Graze has potency attached to it. 100 and inflicts a heavy. So yeah, inflicts a heavy does 100 damage. 100 potency worth of damage. Okay. Nothing too fancy there. It's the songs that are coming up that are going to be, like, disastrous to understand, because there should be a lot of text for all of them, especially because they should all have some sort of different song. So this, I believe, was Ballad that he just hovered over. So we know that these are on target. 140 potency, 48-second cooldown. Grants... Oh, this is Army's Paeon right here, actually. I didn't see that. And then it does what Army's Paeon does. It says increases attack speed and reduces cooldown by 10%. Okay, and I can't read the rest. But it does what Paeon does, basically. It makes you attack faster. This is Ballad. Also has 140 potency, 48-second cooldown, and gives you a 100% chance of proccing Rain of Death, it looks like. Is the answer. So yeah, 100% chance. Normally it's 30% for Rain of Death. Looks like under Ballad it's 100% chance of proccing Rain of Death. So you'll be pressing Rain of Death pretty much nonstop. And then this is Paeon again. So we need Minuet for the last bit. Please, preview Minuet. Please. No, click the top right. Thank you. The job I actually play. 140 potency, 48-second cooldown. And then it gives you, looks like it gives you access to the performance attack with the timed effect. Which we saw in the preview. Because we know that when you activate Minuet, at least based on what it looked like in the job action preview, that it activates a different form of repertoire where it's not those three. It's a separate timed gauge, and doing that let extra timed attack does a ton of damage. That's what it looked like when we did it before. All right, yeah, those are the songs. Pitch Perfect, Rain of Death, Raging Strikes, Apex and Blast. Still has to press Apex and Blast. All right, there's Apex and Blast. So let's see. Those are coming up here in a second. Apex and Blast. Apex, there's Venomous Bite. There's the follow-up attack again that we were looking at before. Looks like it's just Apex. 270 potency. Learn at level 8. Oh. It's just a 20-second, like, line AoE. Does a bunch of damage. All right. Learn at level 8. And then you have Repelling Shot in that last section, it looks like. And hey, look, Peloton. No, go back to Peloton. I need to see if Peloton is actually used in combat or not. Come on. Click it. There we go. 60-second cooldown. Nope, out of battle. 30% movement speed out of battle. And then it disappears after entering. Okay, still an out of combat skill. 30% movement speed. It's interesting actually having the number 30% tied to it because we often just say increases movement speed. Yeah, different effects for it said that it loses the effect in battle. I guess I couldn't scroll down far enough to see the in battle effect. Must have been underneath his thing. All right, so it does have an effect in battle. It's just a different one. Probably just less movement speed. It's probably just 10% or something. 5, this is just Repelling Shot. That's it. 5-second cooldown, a step backwards. Yep, that's all. Okay. All right, Bard, pretty simple to understand. Yeah, can I see the effect? Yeah, I can see, yeah, there's another effect underneath that I can't read. When he goes there. Yeah, you can see the text continues underneath. And the text at the top says, I think it said something about there being a different in-combat effect. Same effect. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't say that at the top. Oh, yeah, the only thing we can read is the out-of-combat effect there. And then you can see the auto attacks, which the final one has a potency of 60, interestingly enough. All right, so that's actually pretty similar to what we had. So Black Mage is a 5-star job. So this is ley lines. Looks like I see the number 3, but I also see that 15% increase to spell cast. Looks like it says it requires Astral Fire, Umbral Ice 3. Oh, no, yeah, that's what it says. I think that's what it says. Or either that or it generates it immediately. But yeah, it increases your attack speed, your casting speed and everything by 15%. For, well, I actually can't see the duration because it's underneath again. We have Foul, 420 potency, learned at level 40. And looks like it just requires you to, it requires a polyglot. So that works as you'd expect it would. Oh my God. These are like those little, yeah, I was wondering what all of these did. Because again, we got to preview these. We got to see these in the preview that we went over the other day. Magic attack without any movement. So these are scathe replacements for each element, it looks like. Cooldown of 20 seconds and there's one for each element. Do they do anything different? 100 potency. If they do something different, then it's in the text beneath his head. So I can't see that. He looks like he's reading it, so he probably was able to do it. Yeah, they each have a different... They do have slightly different effects. This one has a percentage listed at the bottom somewhere. So they do have a different effect depending on which element it is. But they are all also instant cast. And then we have, looks like Flare. Potency of 220. Looks like a cast time of 2.5 seconds. Yeah. And then you need the effect. I don't remember. We saw in the gameplay preview, we saw a whole bunch of stuff that like interacted with each other on Black Mage. Consumes 100% of your MP. That's to be expected. Skill power 220. Okay, and then that's all I can read. Unfortunately, there's just so much text. 2000 MP, potency of 160. They both have a potency of 160. And they both have a 2-second cast time as well. And then they probably, they swap between Astral Fire and Umbral Ice with that one. That looks like it's just Thunder. So first stage, oh, it's a multi-stage. Oh, no. It's saying that it deals damage and then it applies a dot, I believe, is what it's saying. Unfortunately, again, there's just so much text that I can't read underneath. So Black Mage, we can't really do too much with the preview of it without finding like an online translation from all of this. We'll probably have to do another separate thing on this altogether. What does this do? It gives him an effect. Oh, it gives him the Starfire. Oh, that's Enochian. Sorry, that's what that is. And then it gives access to Fire 4 and Blizzard 4. The lightning tap. Ah, the lightning tap is tap for single target, hold for AoE. All right, that's interesting. Yeah, so that's effectively Enochian, which turns the action into Fire 4 and Blizzard 4. And then for Blizzard 4, 80 attacks per stage. Is that implying that this is held? Was that oh, I think it... No, never mind. That was because it went over to freeze. I don't think... Yeah, that's because I thought it was holding Blizzard 4. He actually went to freeze. 80 attacks per stage. Is this another held skill? It's saying per stage, and it has, like, separate attack values associated with it. Interesting. That's between the lines. Do I really need to say anything about that? That just teleports you back to your ley lines. That skill in that spot is almost always a movement skill of some kind. There's Adel. Alright. And then, alright, that was actually a lot quicker than I thought it would be. I didn't get to read Blizzard 4 and Fire 4, but they might have been underneath again. Honestly, I don't know that we even really need to read Summoner. Summoner looks like identical. Yeah, this is just, you know, Festers, 230 potency. Increases power of normal attacks by 20. Yeah, and then this gives you your sockets, so that's that activates your carbuncle gauges. That gives you all your gems, basically. Yeah, that's just you getting all your gems. That looks like, I guess it was Ruin 4, the other one that he went over. He went over it pretty quick. What is this? Every action is just them holding a book up. Level 3. 45-second cooldown. I want to see the actual activation action for that again. Yeah, I was going to say, is that just a barrier? Is that a 10% barrier on everyone? It looks like it's the carbuncle barrier, but it looks like it's... It looks AoE. It's got a range of 23, so... That's what that looks like. 10-second, 10% barrier. Yeah, that's what it looks like at the very least. That's how it sort of reads that way too. And then that action is in the bottom left. That's either like Ruin or whatever the base action is for whatever gem you're in. 1% damage buff to the team, 10% to self. Okay. So it's not a shield. It is a damage buff. All right. That works out. I closed my translate thing by accident. Hold on. Not that it's been doing great. Yeah, and then these are all the different spells depending on which summon you're actually using at the given time. And I think you get 2 casts of each of those, if I'm not mistaken. Whenever you actually enter a summon, yeah, 600 potency gives you, looks like 15 seconds to use the 2 stacks that you get. And then they should all read almost identically, except for the type of effect they give you, because it should be changing the type of gem that you get. The summon has turned on us! All right. I like that for the animation, it just stands in front of us. It doesn't even look at the training dummy that's right behind it. It looks like it's turning on us. The way that reads is interesting. What is the second? The second effect is the thing I need to know. This right here, because it has a second effect there. Oh, it gives you access to another skill. I believe. That's what gives you access to Fester, I'm guessing. That's not energy drain. Friggin' my brain is melted trying to do all this at once. The other one. It's giving you access to Fester. Surecast, Adel. What does the shield do? What is that? What does that button on the right do? Wait, what was that actually? Hold on. I got so lost in the other skill, I didn't pay attention to their... I'm assuming that was their personal barrier. So they have a damage buff. They have all the summons. Is this their health barrier? 15-second cooldown. Looks like a 10% shield. Is that a 10% shield and a 10% damage reduction? Am I bugging? Or is it 10% health and 10% damage shield? Or 10% health and 10% damage reduction? Yeah, energy siphon. Recover 10% and get it. I could see it was a double 10%. Yeah, it's heal and shield. Got it. Oh, and then this is every 90 seconds. This looks like 20% damage reduction for 10 seconds. So it's just a personal shield. That's just for the caster roll. Wait, that was one more I wanted to check. Those are the different auto attacks. Fester. Just wanted to read this one more time. Yeah, just 300 potency attack. Just looks like it has the cast condition on it. Oh, and then Scholar. Whew. That's a lot of work. A work I can't even do correctly because I have to rely on technology. Holy moly, that looked cool. All right, 30-second cooldown. This is recitation, isn't it? Pretty sure this is just recitation. Yeah. Yeah, it's recitation. Oh, I saw the fairy ability. Consumes 10 points of the gauge, and every 30 seconds does... It's so... Bro, why are there like 3 carbuncles on the screen? What the hell? You guys see that? I got distracted by all the carbuncles. It's like every time he presses an action, it's accidentally summoning another car. I think it's a bug. Look, there's one carbuncle. I swear he summons... There's a second carbuncle. Yeah, it is. There's an animation bug on Scholar. Hey, it is just a beta. I was like, why are there extra carbuncles here? Well, there's no fairy, but there's plenty of carbuncles. All right, this is... Yeah, it looks like it's... that's just the AoE, and it's Whispering Dawn, but it consumes 10 gauge, it looks like. And then this is the magic damage reduction, I'd assume. Skill Resilient 70. Yeah. That's what it looks like here. 30 seconds, consumes 10 points as well. That's the magic damage reduction / healing buff. Whatever it's called in game. That looks like... Is that Sucker? Yeah. Well, actually, it looks like the magic one gives a shield instead because it says skill resilience, and this is Sucker, and this also has skill resilience on it. Yeah, Phaeloom. Looks like Phaeloom also had a shield associated with it. Yeah. This is skill resilience of 60. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then this is AoE shields. Well, no, that's Sucker. The other one is Eloquium. Sorry, Eloquium, Sucker. That's Eloquium. The next one's Sucker. I was reading the thing and not actually paying attention to the animation. That's... Wait! Why did he cast Sucker and it worked on a training dummy? Don't help the training dummy. We're here to beat up the training dummy. That's their energy siphon equivalent to give them that. Yeah, so that's 150. Looks like it gives them 1 gauge as well to use. That's Lustrate. We know they have Lustrate and Indom, I believe, on this ability. Yeah, so Lustrate and Indomitability. Pretty straightforward on that bit. Heal the training dummy so we can keep... Oh my god, does that say 1500 potency? Hold on, I need to actually, like, get this. This is a 2-parter. Is this the offensive action that we saw on the other thing? So 30-second cooldown. Any day now. Any day now. Recovers 1500. Oh, yeah, 1500 magic power. Okay, so that is it saying it consumes 100 MP to give you 1500 back. All right, if it's every 30 seconds. And it gives you a follow-up skill. Interesting that it consumes 100 to give you back 1500. And then it'll give you the stacks at the bottom. And then it has the follow-up attack. Follow-up attack has a 6-second cooldown. Consumes 1 ether flow to do an attack. It looks like that's energy drain equivalent, basically. whatever this is. It's not even energy drain. It's like some AoE, but this seems to consume an ether flow according to the description. It's just an offensive ether flow action is all it looks like. And then that's just an AoE attack that they get at the low level. Does it say this consumes an ether flow? Yes, this consumes an ether flow. It's an AoE. Yeah, it's just all their ether flow skills are at the top. Making the carbuncle Cerberus. Okay. Why do you need this for this now? This is like the easiest one to understand so far. Yeah, I think it's broil, but it says it consumes an ether flow. Does this consume an ether flow? No. Increase. Oh, this is expedience. Yeah. Only lasts for 3 seconds, and it doesn't look like it has any damage reduction on it. But it's just the movement speed part of expedience. Learned at level 15, it looks like. Yep. There's the animation. Increases movement. Bro, I feel like I'm going to walk right off a Titan with expedience here. Right off. That's raise. It looks like 1500 MP for raise. Yep. Mm-hmm. That indeed was raise. Was that everything? Wait, did we just get through all of them? Wow, that was actually not that bad. Yeah, understanding all of that, obviously with the thank you to chat for helping with the translations for that, because that was wild. I didn't expect to just go nuts. I might break that into 2 videos, one going over the character creator and one going over the job actions. Nah, I'll probably just make it all one video. But yeah, that was all supposed to be just a YouTube recording, and then I got really into it, and I kind of forgot I was doing a YouTube recording, but I'm going to upload that entire segment anyway, because it's full of really funny bits that come out of the Google Lens, and I have learned that when I travel, I will never use Google Lens, because I am going to get injured by somebody when I try conversing with them based on what I have learned from Google Lens, or I'm going to get lost. One of the 2 things is going to happen, and then I'm going to die, and you're never going to hear from me again. So, that's our first look. We're going to continue looking at the footage, but I'm going to chop up a video right here and get this over to the YubTubs. I think is probably a good idea. So on the YouTube side, and I hope you enjoyed that and look forward to more, because I've got a lot more footage to scour over. And on the Twitch side, we're going to take a short break from looking at new stuff while I get that chopped up and everything. So on to the